Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources. Updating daily at 6 a.m. New York. New York Times World News.
September 21st. 4:47 America, New York. On a grim anniversary, 230 pilot whales are stranded in Tasmania. At least 95% will die, because the ocean's just so fierce, said a boat skipper on the scene, where 470 whales were also beached in 2020. Pilot whales stranded on the western coast of Tasmania on Wednesday.
Mirror World News. September 21st. 4:24 America, New York. Vladimir Putin had 13-hour coughing fit and chest pain before delaying TV speech. The General SVR Telegram channel has claimed that several attempts to start recording an appeal were frustrated due to coughing, and doctors were called after 4 unsuccessful attempts to record the address. Mirror World News.
September 21st. 4:11 America, New York. What is partial military mobilization as Putin signs chilling decree for Russians? Vladimir Putin has announced a partial military mobilization, as he warns the world that he could use various means of destruction if Russians are threatened, adding, "It's not a bluff."
Wall Street Journal World News.
September 21st. 3:53 America, New York. Putin orders draft of reservists for war in Ukraine. In a major escalation of the war in Ukraine, the Russian president raised the threat of a nuclear response in the conflict and ordered a partial mobilization of the country's reservists.
New York Times World News.
September 21st. 3:45 America, New York. German government nationalizes Uniper in move to secure energy supply. The utility company, once Germany's largest importer of Russian gas, has been squeezed since Moscow cut the flow of the fuel, leading to a partial bailout in July that is now a full takeover. Uniper is responsible for supplying about 40% of all gas used in Germany.
BBC News World.
September 21st. 3:37 America, New York. Russia's Putin announces partial military mobilization. In a televised address, he says it's a necessary step to ensure Russian territorial integrity.
BBC News World.
September 21st. 3:36 America, New York. Whale stranding. 230 whales stranded on Tasmanian beach. It is the second mass whale stranding reported in Tasmania in 2 days. World News. Breaking international news and headlines, Sky News.
September 21st. 3:04 America, New York. Germany's biggest gas importer Uniper is nationalized after huge losses. The German government has said it will nationalize the country's biggest gas importer, Uniper, as it battles massive losses from Europe's energy crunch. Gas storage.
New York Times World News. September 21st. 2:39 America, New York. Victims recall life in the Philippines under Marcos's martial law. Ferdinand E. Marcos placed the country under military rule 50 years ago this week. With his son now in power, those who lived through those dark days fear their stories will be lost.
Time.
September 21st. 2:32 America, New York. The quagmire in Ukraine is making Russia a less valuable ally to others. Until Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, President Vladimir Putin benefited from the image of being highly successful in his previous uses of force. Indeed, his reputation for successfully using force was so formidable that it was widely expected in the West that Russian troops would quickly overwhelm the Ukrainians.
Mirror World News.
September 21st. 2:14 America, New York. Vladimir Putin issues nuclear bomb threat to West and warns, it is not a bluff. Vladimir Putin today announced the partial mobilization of Russia in a delayed major speech to his country, and among the usual L's was a chilling nuclear threat to the West.
The Washington Times Stories. Advocacy.
September 21st. 2:14 America, New York. Putin sets partial military call-up, says he won't bluff on nukes. Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered a partial mobilization of reservists in Russia, in a measure that appeared to be an admission that Moscow's war against Ukraine isn't going according to plan after nearly 7 months of fighting and amid recent battlefield losses for the Kremlin's forces.